I am Victoria Volk of The Unleashed Heart, and today I'm talking about grief in children and teens. I am a child griever myself, 30 plus years. My father passed away when I was 8, and I had many subsequent losses after that. Children will learn 75% of the basic tools and concepts that they will use throughout their lives by age 3. Most people do not know this. And 95% of their decision-making powers are established by the age of 15 years old. Grief is the normal and natural response to change of any kind, and it is part of being human. Common messages that children hear is big girls and boys don't cry. If you are going to cry, go to your room. You need a timeout. Don't be a crybaby. Instead of giving children reasons why they should not cry, we need to offer them the chance to use words to express their feelings. Grief is cumulative, and it's cumulatively negative. Each loss that is stuffed inside, rather than allowed to be expressed, those emotions stay inside. And with each loss that is not expressed and released, children and adults add to that already expanding stash of an internalized pain. The more pain that is stuffed and stored, the less room there is for joy. The key point to remember is in the death of a loved one is to avoid analysis, criticism, or judgment. Let them express their pain and then invite them to share fond memories. So what is grief? It's important that we understand what it is so that we know what it isn't. Grief is the normal and natural reaction to a loss of any kind. It's conflicting feelings that come at the end of or a change in a familiar pattern of behavior. It's the result of undelivered communication. It's a feeling of reaching out for someone who has always been there, only to discover when you need them one more time that they are not there. It's the things we wish had been or could be different, better, or more. And it is the loss of hopes, dreams, and expectations. Grief at 100%, just like adults. So who is responsible for feelings? Common phrases, don't do that, you'll make your father angry, or you make me feel so proud. A victim foundation is laid with the idea that other people are the chief architects of our feelings. And truthfully, that really is giving someone else a lot of power when we let them believe that they can make us feel a certain way. That's just giving away our power. And it's really teaching children that they have a lot of power in how they can make others feel. So we have this stimulus, something that makes you feel a certain way. And that's truly a neutral experience. However, we have a thought about it, which is when we apply a positive or a negative to that stimulus. We then have a certain feeling about it, and we can reach a saturation point. This is where we either implode or we explode, and we take action. However, with new information, we can take a new action, and thereby making the stimulus a neutral experience. The good news is a feeling is a physical response to a thought. The bad news is you created every feeling you've ever had. And the good news is you can change the feelings you create. There are 6 myths of grief that we talk about in grief recovery, and they are: don't feel bad, replace the loss, grieve alone, time heals all wounds, be strong, and keep busy. Don't feel bad. Now, these are happy feelings are good and get rewarded versus sad feelings are bad and get punished. This is often what happens in our society. Anger is a very strong emotion, and it's often poo-pooed to be expressed by adults and by children, by society in general. Replace the loss. Children need to feel bad when their hearts are broken. Don't try to fix them with a replacement. Maybe it's better to feel bad when feeling bad is the normal reaction to an event. Remember, the grief is the normal and natural response to loss of any kind. So one of the first common losses children have is a pet. And this is our Gizmo on his birthday a couple of years ago. The next myth of grief is grieve alone. Laugh and the whole world laughs with you. Cry and you cry alone. What we believe is what we teach. We always resort to what we know, and especially when our backs are against the wall. and especially in parenting when we're resorting to what our parents taught us. However, with new tools and new education, with presentations like this, we can learn what not to do, and we can learn better skills in moving forward. Be strong is another myth of grief. What we practice, we perfect. You can be strong or you can be human. Choose one. And this is what people often say about other grievers is, oh, they're so strong. But really, what does that really mean? I challenge you to consider that when you say that to another griever. People can often think of too as strong equating to resilience, which is a little different than being strong. But resilience is often something not chosen either. We have to pull different strengths out of our soul, really, in order to get past and beyond a challenging time. So yes, we can be strong or we can be human, but we can't be both. Keep busy. Creates the illusion that you're doing something constructive to heal. The three important areas that are affected by grief are emotional, spiritual, and intellectual. And keeping busy is something that many people will do in order to not feel and in order to avoid. We all know the phrase, time heals all wounds, but time really does nothing but pass. It is the action taken in time that matters most. So what are the signs of grief? Depression, lack of energy, inability to concentrate, out of the moment, low-grade anger, overreactions, isolation, and repeated behaviors. Signs of grief in children and teens: acting out or angry outbursts, biting, loss of interest in activities, grades slipping, or they might not be, tardiness, absenteeism, isolation or loner behavior, antisocial, or they may not be, fearful, helicopter parents equal less social interaction, prefer phone use over person or personal contact. Ways that grief manifests in the body. It can show up as ulcers, upset stomach, hair loss, body aches, migraines, rash or hives, high blood pressure, heart attack, cancer, diabetes, asthma. Practical tips to do to help children or teens. Ask and be present without judgment, criticism, or analyzing. Listen, hear, and acknowledge. Be honest. Tell the truth about yourself, even about death. Giving children accurate information about the reality of death does not interfere with the development of religious or spiritual beliefs about heaven and afterlife. Practical tips not to do to help children and/or teens. Never compare losses. Don't presume how a child should feel, as all relationships are unique. Do not create a hierarchy of feelings, because all feelings have value and need to be heard. Do not use language that will shut down a child or teen or their feelings, such as the myths, don't feel bad, replace the loss, grieve alone, be strong, and keep busy. And I do encourage you to go back and revisit the information on each of those. And avoidance and/or silence or lies do not help your child or teen as they grieve either.